Hello, Taurus. We are here to do your mid-November romance read. For those of you that are new, a very warm welcome. I'm a psychic medium. I cover the astrology. I cover twin flame path. If you do want to have a reading, you can go to the link directly below. If you do have trouble with the time zones, try and refer to the website because the website actually has different aspects than the actual telephone system. So if you are new and you do want to book a reading, I connect in with video, telephone, email, Skype. If you do need something outside of that, I am able to, but just inbox me. Now, I did have a situation happen this week with a person trying to book a reading. With the emergency readings, it's by request within my schedule. It's what I have, and it depends on what I have there. If you are requesting, all details need to be confirmed. I did have a client wanting it to be private where she had inboxed me via Skype, inboxed me via website, and we need to keep all the communication on one platform so we can have that effective communication there. So she did end up booking under a different name after she said she was going to actually do an emergency booking. She booked a normal reading. So huge confusion for us. Mercury and Shadow has been interesting. But yeah, if you do have issues with the time zone, just inbox me. If you do miss your appointment and you're a newbie, it's common to happen. It's okay. Again, I'll reschedule you at the closest time I can. But do bear in mind, when I am rescheduling you guys, I'm missing 2 direct spots. So you get a notification in the email. Okay, let's have a look at Taurus. Now, what we're going to do tonight for you guys in America, we're Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. I'm then going to do a twin flame update. Then we're going to move into the moon energy for Scorpio. So let's get into the energy. Now, the crystal that you guys have, it's unique that it's coming up, and I do believe it is linking to, how do you put it, Uranus and Taurus. Now, obviously, you guys being Taurus, this is linking to you, so I'm not surprised it's come through. And the reason I say this is because with Garnet, it's royalty, right? And it's almost like Uranus and Taurus hand-me-down gift. Now, we did have the full moon in Taurus on the 31st. Moving forward, hi, Eddie, we do have a lot of changes coming. So, I'll do that in the moon energy so you guys can understand with our ascension, what's coming up, how we're feeling emotionally, physically, psychologically, and very triggered at the moment because of the Mars aspect. But we'll do that separately. So you guys have a situation coming up where you might not be feeling that you're being honored for the energy you are. Are you, aren't you? Are you in alignment? And it's not you being in alignment. It's you in particular feeling that you're getting the gratitude, the understanding. And just bear in mind during this Venus energy we're checking into that due to the fact that we do have Mars retrograde and Aries and Chiron retrograde, the yin and yang of that is both of us collectively in connections are not feeling complete because we're healing and we're purging with the Scorpionic aspect. Scorpio relates to both Mars and Pluto. So it's endings, it's transformation, it's the ickiness of it. So initially it's going to move. That's why I'm doing mid-month rates. So it's the energy we're coming in with, feeling maybe out of alignment, maybe people not understanding our point of view and wanting to have this transformation in their collective. You got Song of the Wild in reverse. Again, I do feel you guys feel you're not being heard, feel you're being misunderstood. You also have Swan, so this could be a very spiritual connection. Perspective is everything. You want to see change. You've got crown chakra. Let's have a look at where your crown chakra sits, Taurus. Oh, the 11th house. Okay, you're wanting to socialize. You're wanting to branch out. You're wanting to do more. You're wanting to have some of your hopes and dreams. And this relates to your love life as well. Wanting to have those hopes and dreams. How do you bring the tribe together? How do you bring the connection together? I feel you're wanting to be more social. I feel that you're wanting to get to a place that you want to see the beauty inside of all things. But the thing is, we do have to see the shadow as well. So appreciation. appreciating the beauty inside and all around you. There can be a circumstance that happens that you directly are looking at situations and maybe having epiphany moments, but it's also, you do need to be looking at things also from the yin and yang, which is the dark and the light. We all have that. There could be, and I'm going to pull a clarify on this because I feel there's something that's being avoided. That's what I'm feeling. It's like, as my sister says, Barneys and dolphins and starfish, she'd always say that if there were disputes and, trying to make light of a thing, but maybe to a degree avoiding something, avoiding a circumstance, maybe not wanting to rock the boat, but it resonates regardless. Let's see what it is. And I really do need to move the office around a bit, but I haven't had time to do that. How we all been? Okay. Yeah, it's like you don't want no drama. It can be something to do with gossip, something to do with what somebody said. And again, you're trying to just make peace. You don't want any dramas. But I do feel whatever's up in your head and a circumstance that's playing out is actually agitating you a little bit, but you don't want to. You want to be everyone's BFF. Let's see. And these cards, I have, my guides have told me to read them in the upright. So if you see me turning them around, it's because I'm reading them all in the upright. What's coming through for Taurus's romance, please? Yeah, you're thinking about it. You're like, how do I look at love? It's interesting because it's 11, and we did have the 11-11 portal. And, with any energy, it's always, especially with moon energies and transits, you'll get the resonance of the energy either side, and it's alchemizing, especially with Uranus and Taurus. So for you guys, you're in the yin-yang. You're looking at it. You're perplexed. You're like, okay, what does this all mean? To do with my love, everything that's happening. Why did certain things happen? I do feel you're being quite protective over the person you love. There could be, I'm going to pull another chakra card. I didn't pull a chakra card. Yeah, I did visual. I'm feeling like there could be a little bit of power struggle here, but I also feel a little bit of jealous energy. Now, this could be your side or their side. Looking back at why that is coming through and wanting to transform that and wanting to let it go. So again, you're having a lot of psychic downloads. There could be something that you've seen that has triggered you, or something that you showed another person that has triggered them. But there is jealousy here. Yeah, a little bit of ego. Okay, Leo energy. A little bit of jealousy. It's a perspective, but it's linking to the past. I feel at home. There could be some things at home. This card breaks down to a 4. You might have a home-related dynamic. It could be where, and again, I read for many different energies, both coupled, single, so the energy is what the energy is. There can be a family home-related dynamic playing out. And funny, I'm seeing you in hermit mode. I'm seeing you reflecting, maybe wanting to be with people, but needing to do this reflection, needing to understand what's going on. But there's something spiritually changing within you. It could be highs and lows of emotions where you're feeling extremely grounded, then coming back into this meditated state of these shadow energies. You do have your world in your hand, but it's almost like you're looking at an aspect of where you had parts and things and where they had parts and things. And it's not, it is a lot of energies. There's a lot of energies here. So, your belief connected to family, your belief of how love should be, maybe some circumstances of what you've both directly been through in the past and the mirroring of that energy. I do feel whatever's going on at home, I see you maybe being very busy, maybe filling your energy with pouring it into, and it can be co-creative energy, but I think you're psychologically really assessing everything of where you're at. I don't feel, you might be a little bit reactive, but I don't directly see you articulating this to individuals, probably because it's something you don't know you're doing. It's a bit like a feminine, when we're keeping busy, it's that self-avoidance of the emotions, but it's also sometimes when we do that, it's us working through those emotions and trying to understand the complexity of what we're feeling to do with the soul connection. There's a lot of turmoil here in the mind, and I'm seeing that with this reflection, there's passion, there's fear-based frequency, there's inner child wounds. It's just you're trying to bring this whole world together, and it does feel like a real juggling act. And it could be due to what's happening in the collective as well. It's activating it because we do have Mars retrograde, Aries and Chiron retrograde. For you guys with the Taurus energy, let me have a look. It's in your 12th house, so it makes sense, as I said, psychology. So as Neptune goes direct, it's going to ease off. You're going to see things clearly, but try not to cement things too firmly. It's an adjustment stage. It's a place in which you're getting to. And it's almost, as you pull the card back, it's almost like an eclipse. I do feel by the time we have the eclipse in Gemini, you're going to be in a very different standpoint with this connection. But I'm feeling it's almost like you're trying to sum everything up in your life. You're trying to make sense of things so that you can decide how you're moving forward. And I don't feel it's that you haven't decided what you're doing. I just feel it's that coming to terms with the energy. Yeah, there you go. Catch your breath. You're trying to take a breath. You're like, oh my God, I need to get grounded. Holding on to the tree. And it can be a lot of times when we are going through a transformative state, we do hold on to that of what is certain. So the ego with the third eye can be, hey, this is what I know. It can be very Capricorn energy that we're embodying with both Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. It's like, no, this is the way things are done. So it's always been. But when you've outgrown it and you're having that psychic energetic walk-in, you've already outgrown it, but you're still holding on even though it doesn't resonate. So whatever that spiritual belief system is that, you're struggling against the grain of how you're feeling something, you are going to come to terms with it and you're going to feel very grounded and you will be more open. I think when we have broken hearts, we almost at times can feel that we want to replace that energy. But it's a lack within, not a lack without. So it's happened on the internal and it needs to be, that's what's coming in. It's like rejigging the internal so that of what is without is balanced. It's more in alignment of what the viewpoint is. You're catching your breath. You're trying to get grounded. You could be assessing your health. You're assessing the health of what they did, what you did, what your viewpoints are in this perspective. And you also, I do feel you guys are coming to terms with a family-related dynamic. This can be, if you did have somebody pass, if you did have somebody let you down, if maybe you weren't given as much and this connection has given you that, and then it moves and shifts and grows. There is this growth in it, but you're trying to get grounded. There is a lot of heart chakra energy here. So if you're coming to terms with something, and I see this energy where you're cleaning, you're moving things around, you might be reconfiguring. The full moon in Taurus was bringing up the Venus aspect when it did come to home, resources, food, our finances, what we value, what we don't value, and trying to sum that all up, and it can roll over into mid-month. Once we start moving, we're having the activation of the Scorpio moon, and it's the detachment of those things. And I have been seeing a polarity occur within the moons where not necessarily is the new moon effectively suddenly a new moon. And what I mean by that is, you can't open a new door without closing an old one. And it does really hyperlink into both Pluto and Mars. So it's the aggression, it's the anger, it's trying to get these things done without energy, maybe a bit of combative energy, but it's letting these old memories go because they are the past. They are no longer here. We can take from them and we can learn and we can move forward. And that seems to be what's coming through for you guys. Okay, how is your love interest feeling about you? Wow, way too many. A lot. They're feeling a lot. They're feeling a lot of different emotions, and I feel you both are. And I do feel that's why maybe the energy of communication isn't completely there straight away, but you're going to have this breakthrough. And I do feel it'll be, a few days after the Scorpio moon. But moving into that, it can really build, and it can really be, crosswise, misunderstandings, hermit mode energy, keeping busy, of avoidance of subject matters, the collective even triggering us. But there is going to be a breakthrough with this where you're going to have some clarity. And I do feel by dealing with it in the fashion that you're choosing to take it on your own side of the fence is going to pave the way for that middle ground. Really? Gotta love it. Interesting. I'm telling you. There you go. I don't know what's going on. Mercury. Let's see. And it's funny because this card with the breakthrough is 8. And the 8th house placement is Pluto. Right? So it's going to be Scorpio. I'm hoping it's not going to stop cutting it. See, my crown chakra always messes with technology. Good old being psychic, eh? I'll just click on one. I notice it helps with the chat just in case it's blocked. Good. Okay. Now, you are going to have, after the Scorpio new moon, this person is going to have the ideal course of action. Whatever is paving the way, whatever circumstances are playing out, it is to help them move forward. They're going to have a choice as to what to leave behind. And again, this can be on both sides of the fence, but a situation is going to occur to actually be able to give you the perspective of, okay, now that all is said and done, what are we going to do from here? And it's going to be an ideal course of action. And I do feel it links to a home. Home, residence, joining, probably really not till the end of the month moving it. Energy flows, so it's always hyperlinking over. We're having a full moon we're having a solar eclipse in Sagittarius next month, and we're having a full moon in Cancer, and we'll have to check where the astrology is going, but I'll try and get the videos done per zodiac sign ahead of December. So you're going to have a breakthrough. There's something emotional, physical that you're going to let go of. It's either you're directly coming to terms with it. Again, it can be an egoic purge. It can be a 3D circumstance. And I feel it's both. I really do. I'm almost sensing that it's both as within, as without. So you're aligning both sections with the 1-1. This month is a vibration 11, getting into alignment of the yin and yang so that you can be open to this growth and this movement, seeing the beauty in all situations, and sometimes having to make hard calls, even if you feel you could be hurting someone. However that be, it's speaking the truth. It's really coming into alignment, understanding that, yes, even in the shadow, there's respect we can hold forward. This ideal course of action, I do feel you've had to face your shadow in a circumstance. And I do feel there's going to be something that you're going to hear, but you're going to put a brave face on. And I do feel you're reflecting on your past. You're going to be letting go of something. And you know who you love. You know who you love. You know what it is. And you know where you want to be. Yeah. Okay, look at this. And this has been coming up for a lot of the readings. This is empowerment, okay? So the empowerment will be, both in this card here, the individual is looking at a very stormy dynamic. They're reflecting, but it's the past. In this card, they're moving away from it and moving through the fair. And again, fire orientated. And again, Uranus and Taurus relates to lightning and thunder and grounded energy, but also looking at the light in the situation of what they need to do to move away from that. Yeah, they're having to be very true to themselves. This has been coming through for almost all the zodiac signs. With the Lily, you will get, for those of you that are cross watchers that are wondering about what this person's doing, You may, and if you're single, you may actually get communication, and it will be about a finalisation of a circumstance. For those of you inside of this connection, it's discussions about where to go from here. But I do feel there's sudden communication, transformations, and a direct choice. I'm also seeing an anniversary date, however that relates to you. I do feel some of you getting a gift. And the funny thing is, it's almost like some of you are getting a gift. I'm seeing this woman holding an item, and it looks like a lotus flower, and there's light coming out of it. Some of you, it will be a shocking message that comes through, and it's very different to what you've ever received before. This can be very heartwarming, but out of sort. That's what's coming through. I do feel for those of you that are single, this person's watching you. I'm also seeing those of you in connections. There could be two people. Let me check that. Aren't you guys popular? Okay, some of you, it could be that you're coming to terms with a past situation as well as you're in a current situation. Others of you, it could be directly because of the scorpionic aspect that you're actually hearing from a love interest from the past. But I do feel, you're going to know what you want. You're going to know what this breakthrough is. It can actually give you a perspective if you weren't into, you were or weren't. You're going to know. You're just going to know what you want to do. This is a breakthrough. Now, some of this communication can be for the direct healing so that you can be in alignment, but you know who the king or queen is and you know who it isn't. And some of you, that decision is what's going to be made. Any questions? Tell me how it relates. Tell me how the month goes. I'd love to hear. Give me the details. How are we all doing? But yeah, I just feel you're not listening to white noise. You're really tuning into yourself. You're not wanting to fight. You're not fighting it anymore. You know the truth. The truth is you appreciate it through this process. You will on the other side of it. It may not be during the actual, transit, but I do feel point blank zero. After this, when you're moving into choice-given frequencies, I do feel you'll know what's best for you. I can't wait. Technology. I'm telling you, crown chakra and technology. It's almost like I want to move back so it doesn't. You've been hearing the same stuff for 11 years, feeling a bit low. The thing is, and this did come up this morning, and that's why I'm going to be doing a twin flame update. We should always be living our best life. That is, if you're connecting this to one individual only, we always have power to tune into every perspective. So this could be other energies. Are there circumstances? And twin flame journey is very different. Twin flame journey also is, what do you need to do to finalize past? The coaching sessions I give shows where the mirror is. There's always a mirror. Is this their zodiac sign or is this your zodiac sign? Okay, so are you mentally and emotionally now coming to terms with what they did and trying to make sense of it? Oh, hello, what's that doing there? Who have we got? We've got Capricorn. No contact 3 years ago. But still, when we're spiritually connecting the dots that this is to do with them, it is theoretically resonating because it's saying that you're trying to come to terms with it. And look, there is two energies here. the two energies, there is a potential of a new door opening, but it's the choice. It's the choice in what to, yeah. What I tended to find was when I was coming to terms with another person, it was the karmic in my life. It was the memory. And that's why when they had a karmic in their life, I had a karmic in the 3D theoretically, because I was psychologically trying to come to terms with it. And that's what I mean by the new moon in Scorpio. You don't tend to get a new start if you haven't ended cycles. So wherever that ending cycle is, it's detachment. It's letting go. Letting go is not controlling the process, accepting it where it stands and making peace with it. I mean, I talked to Giggle this morning and I said to her at various stages of my journey, I had to accept the fact that I loved someone. Were they there? No. But it was who I was at that point, and that was accepting. So every day I lived in that moment. I had resent, I had happiness, I had anger, I had disillusionment, but it was what it was, and it was inside, and it was also healing from the past connected to other connections. That was part of the process. Once I had let go and I was letting go, detaching, okay, when will it happen? Will it ever happen? Oh, it's been 25 years. I mean, yours is 11, mine was over 25. Did I continue to have movement? Yes, I did, but I also had movement in other areas, and the mirror was everything that was happening in my life. So when I did the mirror work, and he calls me now, that's my twin. When I did do the mirror work, I realized that everything that I had a belief system of what he needed to change, I actually had that happening on my side. And it was like I couldn't then look and say, they have not created healthy boundaries. I was not creating healthy boundaries for the people around me. They have a karmic and an issue with the karmic. I had an issue with the karmic. Uproar with children, my daughter, dramas. So we were mirroring each other at all times. Sometimes you directly won't have a 3D karmic, but you haven't come to terms with the past love. And so you don't have that person in the 3D, but you haven't come to terms with it and released it and forgiven yourself. It could be forgiving yourself. It could be not using it as a go-to. Being in alignment sometimes is making hard decisions as well and going, hey, whatever that is, whatever that blockage is that you have, is that the mirror in my life? Do I have a blockage? I said to a client yesterday, do you feel that if your person come back, that they would fix every situation? We always have other circumstances going on. And so it's only this, it has to become only the salt and pepper in your life, not the main menu, because your main menu is your hopes, your dreams, your friends. Then when they do go into separation, it will never affect you again. It's like, okay, that's fine. Because I know self-worth, and self-worth is generally you attract what you are. So when you've purged something, you don't tend to attract it, because alignment is everything. You have now learned that lesson, so you won't attract that if it's at a different vibration, and you'll attract other energy that resonates with you. Your friendship groups will resonate with you. But at the moment, feminines are very aggressive and feminines are very angry. Why? Because our Venus is direct, their Mars is retrograde. And so we're comparing our energies between what we did versus what they did, and we're getting aggressive because we're not seeing the yin and yang. Moving into the receptive feminine energy, getting grounded, being in openness to receive. Not how is it going to be? How long are you taking? What have you done? What haven't you done? It's just living the best vibration. And it's hard at the moment because the ascension process at the point you guys are in mirrors where I was in late 2018. And that's why I've been saying to clients, go back and look at those videos, because I did come to an aggressive state. I was very angry. I was moving into victim consciousness. I was also having to address the fact that I did have a part in it. And, oh, thanks, Star. Yeah, I was painting my face as I was talking to Giggle. I did have a part in it where I didn't have to do those things. If in the awoken energy, when you step back and look at it, where was I enabling? Where was I accepting certain circumstances? And it was a choice. To be intimate was a choice. To not be intimate, to ghost, to speak my truth without the consequence, that was all my job. So when you look at that and you upgrade, and you can still be in love with the person if they're with someone else. You can still be in love with the person and self-master if they are out of alignment, but you have to be less fixated and codependent so that they're not your axis, you're your axis. And then you're not going like that. Does that make sense? So I will do coaching relating to it because I can tell you some circumstances I went through. I had that in the separation where I created the healthy boundary, and it was with myself. I can't do X, Y, and Z. That doesn't feel right for me. And it was owning that, my belief systems and twins' belief systems are very different. But in alignment, we get to a point that I'm very earnest and honest, like the movie Liar Liar. It's like, look, Valentine's Day is important, but it's not from the perspective that it's that one day. It's a permanency. Yes, I do have a benchmark of being appreciated. And if it's not, I will voice it. And I will actually mirror that energy and shift my energy back onto myself, and it rebalances it. So the yin yang does come in. But the anger that came up prior to reunion for me was me reaching union with myself. And like I said, I could open the video, but you'd look at Yildiz readings in a very different light. And I really, after that video, knew I had to do it. I had to speak my truth. I had to defend myself and my notion I felt I needed to. But when I went through that experience, I realized, wow, you never spoke for yourself. You never loved yourself. You never were gentle with yourself when you were purging or when you weren't perfect, that you had a feeling and you did it willingly, even though you didn't want to. That was, again, something I had to learn. And it will mirror everybody in your life at the moment is going to be triggering you because of the fact twin triggers you separate. Then in the separation, every connection is going to trigger you to a point you're going to see a synchronistic pattern inside of you occurring with them. Then you're going to have to come back into yourself and you go into hermit mode. And then it's victim consciousness, abandonment energy and things to that degree, processing it through the third eye. And then you're going to be releasing it. These tests will come and you'll realize you don't have to be away from people to live stable. You can be with them in disagreement and agreement and still be in alignment, and it won't run away because that of what is truly yours will never go. And yes, we've had many ins and outs in our connection. Are we more in alignment now? 100%. Do we fall out of alignment? 100%. But we work at it and it moves. We're not running from ourselves, which is why separation occurs. Both energies are running from self. I hope that makes sense. So generally, there can be a karmic on your side, feminines, or there's something unresolved or unfinished. Yes, it can be a divorce. Pluto can be to do with births, deaths, endings. What are these things that we need to address? Is it a memory from a past to a connection? Is it a memory from the past directly connected to your twin or your soulmate? Okay. Yeah, it does affect the algorithm. And remember, we're all triggered at the moment. Being spiritual beings doesn't mean we're perfect, but it does mean that we do have to be careful. I try to be very partial when it comes to, what's going on in the collective at the moment. But I mean, the funny thing is with the nodes, we've had both subjects, as I mentioned yesterday, of what, mother and father always taught us not to talk about, which was religion and politics. And it's heightened emotions. At the moment, masculines are ascending and they're going through a transformative state. You could have a partner coming home, for instance, and they're tired. And you could be going, is this about me? No, it's not. Stop making it about you. Detach. Needing that inner child energy kind of nurtured. Don't take it personal. If you've got no contact, don't take it personal. If a person's, agitated, is it about you? No, it's something going on in them. Detach. Don't take it personal. I'll be back. I'll be back in about 10:15 and we shall do, who do we want to do? Capricorn or Virgo? Thanks, Mark. Mark and I had a heated debate. We were laughing. I said if we were talking about politics, people would be laughing at Mark and I. We had very split belief systems, but it was astrological as well. Virgo. Okay, Virgo it is. Love yous all. I'll be back soon.